exploring the latest Pokemon regions, catching the wild Pokemon and training them to grow stronger, challenging the gyms to eventually reach the Pokemon League, become champion, and get to go into space. Because of the Moss Deep Space Center. I fell for the old playground myth that if you do all these stupid things and take too long and all that, you get to fight Deoxys on the moon after you rocket up, and it's not true. But this was like right before I really knew that an internet was a thing besides Neopets, so I never looked it up. You don't get to. You can't fight Deoxys on the moon or even go to space in the original games, but it's cool that the remakes have you ride Rayquaza into space. That's neat. But what's not so neat are these gym badges. Like the Stone Badge. That's a Stone Badge, Roxanne. You didn't make it.
No.
Unless you did. Do the gym leaders make their own badges, or are they like mass produced by the Pokemon League and then given out? And then there's the Feather Badge. Oh man, wonder what that could be. But there are still some semi-tricky and symbolic ones, and so I'll explain them. But let's go in order now, shall we? Like the original Red and Blue, the first gym is the Rock-type gym, this time in Rustboro City, and led by Roxanne. She gives you the Stone Badge, which is simple in name, but not so simple in shape. What is this? Is it a brick? Bricks are stone, so is it like a brown brick on top of a split brick on top of a red brick? I guess so. Perhaps it's even like just plain old decorative bricks, like a decorative brick floor, or perhaps like the Rustboro City's own streets and sidewalks, all stone mosaic pathways. Plus, the badge is a rusty color, fitting of Rustboro City, so that explains that. So let's go on to the next badge, the Knuckle Badge in Dewford Town, which is a port town, so the badge's blue makes sense, I guess. It depicts a blue and orange boxing glove, which just so happens to be this gym leader's color scheme too. Watery blue and fighting type orange. The dude's a surfer, or at least talks like one. He's always talking about making waves, both metaphorically and literally. Fitting that his main Pokemon is Makuhita and Hariyama then, which itself is blue and orange. And a sumo wrestler, beaches of course being common sumo wrestling spots. Next up is the Dynamo Badge, which you get after completing the Mauville City Gym, which is run by Watson. Now, even not knowing what a dynamo is, can you tell that this is the electric type gym? I mean, what else is this yellow? And Watson? Watson? Yeah, so dynamos are basically the earliest electric generators. See the resemblance? No? Well, here's a more recent one. They're a lot smaller now, and are just small parts of electric generation. It's some round, coiled wire with a rod going through it. So, see it now? Yeah. Plus, it looks like a simplified version of his main Pokemon, Magnemite and Magneton. Though interestingly, in Pokemon Emerald, they changed it to Manectric. But still, it's first ones. That's what matters here. Next is one of the coolest gym badges in my opinion, from the hottest gym leader too. We make our way to Lava Ridge Town to get the Heat Badge from anime Guy Fieri Flannery. Really though, the whole idea is just...
Lava is hot!
Yeah. The badge is just a plume of fire coming off of a red-hot orb. Simple, but definitely one of the best looking IMO. Now we backtrack to Petalburg City to get the Balance Badge from your dad. Norman, a plain, normal kind of guy, like your dad. He works every day and comes home tired to fall asleep on the sofa watching football. He snores, but if you change the channel, he tells you he was watching that. He wakes up with a sore back and goes outside to grill some burgers on the weekends. But his back is still sore from the sofa sleeping and his terrible mattress that he still uses because he's busy saving for your college fund. What a great dad. You know what you should get him as a spontaneous thank you gift? Why, a mattress from today's sponsor Helix Sleep, of course. You know, admittedly, mattresses themselves are plain, boring, rectangular, everyday items, aren't they? You don't often think about them. But you should. You spend at least a third of your life on them, and the other 2/3 of your life often reflect how well you spent that third. And how well you sleep often has everything to do with how comfortable you are. Which is exactly why I love my Helix mattress I got over 5 years ago. Upgrading to it was like a huge difference, like night and day, a massive improvement over my generic cheapo afterthought of a hand-me-down mattress. I mean, Helix makes premium mattresses customized to fit your your needs. By simply taking their quick and easy online sleep quiz, they can match you to the perfect mattress based on you and a partner's body types and sleep preferences. Side sleeper, back sleeper, slacking. Do you prefer laying on something firmer or softer? And how about your significant other? Are they hot or cold sleepers? And there's no need to worry about ordering a mattress online because Helix vacuum seals them and puts them in an easy to manage box. So setting it up is easy. And they offer a 100-night sleep trial to make sure you love it. And there's a 10-year warranty too, and flexible financing options. Plus, they're fiberglass free. Maybe you've seen on the news or your Zoomer Toctic socials or whatever that a lot of mattress companies are being sued over fiberglass filler. I mean, gosh, it's cheap, but it's terrible for your health. So I sleep well, knowing that I don't have to worry about that. Nor will you. So, if you're interested in evolving your less than optimal sleep quality, I've got a deal for you. Visit helixsleep.com/Lockstin to get 20% off of your Helix mattress plus 2 free pillows. So whether you're cool, spicy, or just plain normal, everybody can appreciate a good deal and a good mattress. So check them out at the link below. Our boy Norman walked so Larry could run. So it's normal type, and the badge could be seen in a couple different ways. First off, it's 2 evenly sized circles balancing one another, perhaps like 2 molecules or planets of equal mass orbiting each other. Or it's 2 round weights on a seesaw. Or it could just be straight up a barbell, which you could associate with the intense muscles and training that fighting type Pokemon and gym leaders train with, but that's not really balanced. That's taking fitness to an extreme. So be like his ace Pokemon, Slacking, who is so mightily powerful, mighty strong, and can easily lift any barbell when it's not slacking off every other turn. Balance. Plus, Norman is often portrayed as a kind and loving father who tries to find a good work-life balance, so there's that. There's also a balance to be made in gym badge design because some are certainly deeper, while others are basic. So next we go off to Fort Tree City to face off against Winona for the feather badge. It's a feather. Because birds, flying type, but actually the design itself is fairly neat. You could see it as a single feather being blown back in the wind. Or you could see it as 2 upward wings on the back of a bird. And its overall shape is even sort of like the talons on birds of prey. And it's also the same color as her outfit, so there's that. Also, Fort Tree City, being the city it's in, is very fitting because all of the buildings here are tree houses joined together by rope bridges, like the Swiss Family Robinson kind of stuff. They're like birdhouses. So now we waltz on over to Moss Deep City to get the Mind Badge from the Psychic-type gym run by the twins Tate and Lisa. I love double battles. Moss Deep City, which has the Moss Deep Space Center, is based on the real-world city of Tanegashima, which has the Tanegashima Space Center, the hub of JAXA, which is Japan's NASA. And in Pokemon, the Psychic type is heavily associated with space, both scientifically and spiritually. The night sky and just space in general have a big connection to psychics and mystics and spiritualism the world over. Humans have been wondering what's in space and what space could possibly be since the dawn of humanity, and have thus attached a lot of spiritual meaning and power to it. So it's really like triply fitting that these gym leader twins use Solrock and Lunatone, psychic rocks that resemble celestial bodies. But anyways, the badge. It looks like a light pink heart that is yellow on the bottom with a fuchsia-y round gem in the middle. The 2 halves of the top of the heart are like separate pieces that come together, sort of like conjoined twins, but not in a physical sense, rather in a spiritual or mental sense. Think the classic twins that finish each other's sentences and do everything together trope, which Tate and Lisa do also. Basically always reading each other's minds psychically. Similarly, the brain controls the heart, and the heart pumps blood to the brain. So the connection between a heart shape for the psychic badge and this whole motif makes a lot of sense. As does the reddish-pink gem in the middle of it, which is like the bindi that many women and sometimes men wear in Hindu, Jainism, and Buddhism, and is a red mark or small gem between the eyebrows that has relations to lots of spiritual things, such as helping control the latent energy released through the Ajna chakra during meditation, and opening your third eye. So, the connection to the gym's typing is pretty obvious. And lastly, but certainly not leastly, we have now made it to Setopolis City and have received the city's badge from Wallace, or Juan, depending on which game you're playing. But in either case, a man so beautiful and fashionable that it'll bring you to tears. Which means you'll match the badge he gives you. Of course, it's the water-type rain badge. It looks like a Triforce made of water droplets, but only the lower left one has any amount of detailing, much like gravity pulling water ever further downwards and to the left. But interestingly, if this were a Triforce, that is the Triforce of Wisdom, imbued with the power of the goddess Nehru, who uses water magic, and she's also the goddess of the seas. So, like, if this is a Triforce, that's the one that's water, that's the right one! The Triforce, and perhaps this gym badge too, are based on a 13th century symbol from the Hojo clan in Japan, the Mitsuroko, hope I'm pronouncing that right, which itself was said to be 3 dragon scales. And remember, Japanese dragons are significantly more associated with the ocean rather than fire. And wouldn't you know it, Hoenn's ace Pokemon is the water dragon type Kingdra. And Wallace, it doesn't fit Wallace as well. His ace is Milotic, which is kind of dragony, and his specifically uses the dragon type move Twister a lot, but it's not dragon type. But actually, let's zoom out a bit and look at the shape of the city. It's also shaped like a big water droplet, very fitting of the badge. But maybe I'm just thinking too deeply about it, and it really is just shaped like the city with the drop there, and it's a stylistic choice rather than being a reference to the Triforce or the Hojo clan, or... Well, what do you think? Are these badges as well thought out as some of the others in previous gens? Or are we finally going down the hill above Simpleton Town? Which is a place I just now made up, if you couldn't tell. It's in Idaho. Let me know down below, and if you missed Gen 1 or 2, here are those. And I'll see you next time. I'm Rain. I'm falling. Down and to the left.